All right.
Okay.
Game face. I had to get that off my mind.
So the first time you put skates on,
3 years old.
and that's literal, right? That's not an exaggeration.
That is, in Canada, I would say the average is about four or five. So I was a little young.
Is there any little boy in Canada that does want to play hockey?
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's a lot. Just like in America, I'm sure a lot of kids don't want to play football.
Yeah. In
but
Texas?
Yeah. In Texas, I'm sure there's kids that would rather play another sport or not play. But your parents are putting you in football, and you're going to be playing.
Yeah, of course.
Playing some football while you're young, at least.
Of course,
until you get to high school or whatever.
I actually started with soccer when I was a little kid.
There you go.
Yeah.
You should have stayed in it.
Fuck that.
Lionel Messi, $1 billion contract. Billion.
I think he might be a little bit better athlete than me.
Well, true. That is the maybe the best player of all time. But hey, there's money in soccer.
He's the highest paid athlete right now, right?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look, Saudi's got so much money. They're, in my opinion, they're controlling all the sports now. All the heavyweight, they're all going there. But yeah, they literally signed a deal for $1 billion a year.
And they fucked with our golf too.
Yeah, they live in actually the PGA Tour had to buckle, and now they're together. And it's funny looking at that. Is Tiger Woods said no. They offered Tiger Woods $1 billion. They offered Rory McIlroy $800 million.
Jesus.
Jordan Spieth $400 million. This is just a play.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Mickelson got like $500 million. Brooks Koepka got like $600 million. Dustin Johnson got like.
They all declined at first, right?
No, all those guys went. Koepka.
Oh, okay.
But here's the funny thing is, so they got all that free money, right? And all these other guys, Rory, no, we're not going. Nah, not selling out. Well, now
that was for human rights shit, right?
That's what they
women,
said.
okay.
Yes, that's what they said. And maybe the PGA Tour, they wanted to stick with the PGA Tour. But in the end, it's kind of funny because now they're part of it, and they didn't get any money.
Yeah. It was a hostile takeover from what I hear.
Yes, and the PGA Tour just stated that we can't compete. We couldn't compete financially, so it's the best thing for us to do to
They
stay
should have
alive.
just said yes the first time.
I'm just saying, if I was Tiger Woods and I got offered $1 billion to go live, and it's only 3 rounds instead of 4, and not as many tournaments a year, and you only I'm crazy. I'd be like, okay, I'll take the bill. And then guess what? Now looking back, a year and a half later, now they're combined. So now I am playing on that tour technically, a part of it, and I didn't get that $1 billion.
Suckers. But anyways, so you start playing in regular Little League, or how does it work?
When you're 3 years old, you just go out on the ice and you learn to skate. So you'll maybe hold a little pail on the ice so you don't fall over. You need to maneuver around. So when you're 3, you learn to skate, and then at 4, you start playing hockey, like get your stick and with the puck out there and learning how to shoot and pass and skate with the puck. At 5 years old, I played against 8-year-olds. So at 5, I was playing in an 8-year-old league.
You're already good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I was 5, it's unheard of to play like with 8-year-olds when you're 5. And then actually when I was 7, I played in a 10-year-old league.
Oh, wow.
So that was really interesting. But yeah, when in Canada, it's like I always say it's like it's religion. So everyone's doing it, and that's how you grow up.
And what was interesting to me is you don't even really play for your school, right? You play for your area.
Yeah, actually, exactly. And I actually was in the rural Manitoba, the province where I live, kind of like your state. I'll just help you out with Canada a little bit there. And so at 10, you play for your community club, which like I would say, be like Flower Bluff would be a community club. And you'd play for that in different areas. And then at 11, it starts getting elite already, where you have 1 million people city, and they'll divide it into 5 areas. So now you've got 200,000 people, and out of those areas, you're making 15-player team of 11-year-olds. So it's a high level. And if you're in rural Manitoba, you can't play in the city. So I actually put my address at my aunt's house in the city, which was illegal, and I went to school in the city, and I'd drive back to the country with my dad at night just to play in the city.
Just to play?
Yeah.
Well, was there an area that you could play in rural?
Rural in town is elite. It was called Tier 1 at the time. If you're in rural Manitoba at that age, you only can play Tier 2. Not as good, but still decent. So I made the move into the city.
That's just the geography of it?
Yeah.
That's just the way it works out?
That's just the way it works out.
Yeah.
By 15, it's all combined by then. So, yeah. Then the rural have their teams.
Your parents recognized that you were excelling at it?
Yeah.
Was your dad good at hockey?
Yes. Yep. He was pretty good. He had a chance to turn pro, a AA, like the Hooks, a contract for that. And his parents made him go to university instead because they didn't think he'd make the NHL. And at that time, there were 6 teams in the NHL, so compared to 28 today. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, good luck. It'd be very hard. So he went to school and got his bachelor's, and he got his master's in education, and
he was a principal, right?
Yeah, high school principal. Yeah.
Did he coach?
He actually coached me. He coached me all the way growing up in hockey till I was 10. Then when I moved into the city, he didn't coach me anymore. But then he wasn't a great baseball player by any means, but he coached me in baseball. He's a great golfer. He taught me a lot about golf. But yeah, he played a big part.
You excelled in all 3 of those too. Kind of pissed me off.
Yeah,
fucking overachiever over here.
It's great. John Daly had a great comment the other day, and they're asking about all athletes and like who's the best golfers, and he's like, not even close. Hockey players. He goes,
no shit.
Oh yeah, he just straight up like a lot of guys play in the NHL, like playing those celebrity tournaments. They're shooting 2-3 under because hitting, it's eye-hand coordination, and it's actually similar. Shooting a puck and hitting, a lot of the same weight.
I think like a tennis player would be pretty good too.
You know what? Good point.
Yeah.
I've actually, what was his name? Ivan Lendl, very good golfer. So yeah, there are some, but yeah, a lot of the hockey, and we have a big hip rotation like hockey, so we hit the ball a long way too. So yeah, but Daly just said that he was not even close. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of top-level athletes like yourself are good at more than one sport. Like most NFL quarterbacks probably played baseball and basketball in high school at a high level.
I think that's changing.
Really?
They are great athletes. This is what's happened in Canada. So now you pretty much make that choice because when I played hockey during the winter, so we'd start in, say, September, and we'd play till April. And then you'd have the summer. So I'd play baseball. I'd play golf. Now the hockey season ends, and there's a summer league. They play hockey. And there's hockey schools, and they go to that. And then there's a all-star team that's going to go out to a different state or province and play a tournament. So now it's become more of a full-time, you're playing hockey. So you wouldn't get to be able to play. I would say you could still golf, right? Because it's an individual game. You could go out once a week and play golf. But you couldn't play baseball. You couldn't do any other sport now.
It's going to hurt your other sports, though.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Weren't y'all half decent at basketball at one point?
Canada?
Yeah.
We have some good players.
Baseball, y'all were actually pretty good.
Baseball, we're actually pretty good.
You're pretty competitive. In the,
very, very
the World
competitive.
Baseball Championship, y'all went pretty far, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, now you got all the Honduras, all those teams are really good.
Those are so freaking good.
Yeah, but Canada, I would say definitely is in the top 8 countries in the world in baseball, for sure.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't think most people know that.
Larry Walker, he was a good player. We had some good players.
And so high school, you don't play for your school. That's so foreign to us, too.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you get to high school, and by 16 years old, you're making a big decision because you're going to decide.
Which is fucking insane to me that you're letting a 16-year-old make this fucking decision.
Yeah, and
I was a fucktard when I was 16.
Looking back on these things, it actually is very interesting and kind of crazy. Thinking about it, going back, like,
but that's all you knew. Like that's
all you knew. And by the time when you're 15, hockey's getting real serious because at 16 you can go play junior if you're really good. And like in Canada, like I was explaining to you a bit earlier, if you're going to play in the NHL, you're going to play pro. You've got 2 avenues. So you're going to either go. Canada has the 3 best junior hockey leagues in the world. Western Canada's got one, Ontario's got one, and Quebec's got one. And it's called Major Junior. And if you go play there, a lot of guys get drafted. A lot of guys go to the NHL from there and play pro. But you can't go. You're considered your pro, and they pay you like
paid a little bit, right?
$100 a week or something. Yeah. So you can't. Then
that's what we would call semi-pro in America
or something. Yeah. So then you can't get a scholarship because now you've been pro, so you'd have to skip years and stuff like that. So
just like amateur boxing and shit like that.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So you're sitting there, and you either go, okay, I'm going to go major junior, or I'm going to play the highest level junior in your state, which is still really good hockey, and you're going to try and get a scholarship. Or you can still play that junior and go back to major junior at 17, 18, 19. I made the decision that I was going to play in my provincially, because I wanted to get a scholarship, and my dad and mom wanted me to go the smart way.
Yeah.
So I ended up at a decent college, probably.
You went to junior college, right?
Yeah, something like that.
What was it called again?
Cornell.
Yeah.
Ivy League.
Ivy League, yeah.
Yeah. Top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Nobody knows.
No.
Is it really top 10 in the world?
Yeah.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
The Ivy League schools do pretty good in hockey, right?
Yes, actually, that's the one sport where they're elite. They actually have we competed in the ECAC.
They suck ass in football. God damn.
Yeah, it's Division I AA, and they're not that good. Basketball, Princeton actually, you might remember Princeton getting to the NCAA tournament a lot from the Ivy League, and they played that game, and they won games in the NCAA. Basketball, they're all right. Baseball, not bad. But yeah, pretty much. Wrestling, very good. Actually,
I would never expect that.
Cornell actually had a couple champs, and then about 4 years ago, they won the whole NCAA.
When I think wrestling, I think like Ohio State.
You're thinking Midwest, but
okay, I think Midwest.
There's
Kansas.
another thing. Ivy League's great wrestling. So wrestling and hockey, but yeah, hockey dominate. Like we play in the East Coast Athletic Conference, but there's also the Ivy League, which we play our own league inside that league.
Y'all dominated the Ivy League like a motherfucker, right?
No, Harvard's really good. Harvard's this year again. Harvard made it to the Final Four. Cornell made it to the Final 8
nice.
in hockey this year. I'd say Yale and Princeton. They're still really good. They haven't done that much. Brown, not a lot. I'm trying to think. Dartmouth, not a lot. And two Ivy League schools don't. Columbia doesn't have a hockey team, which is in New York City. And now I'm going to really have to think who the.
I don't remember all our Ivy League schools.
Yeah, the other one. Let's see. I'll come back to you on that one.
So you went the education route?
Oh, Penn, University of Pennsylvania. That's an
Ivy League?
Yeah.
I did not fucking know that at all.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So back to me. So I had a decision to make. So I made the decision I was going to play junior hockey.
Any regrets?
Yeah, that's a long story. At that time, that was my best thing to do. So I played at 17 junior hockey in my province in the state, and I set a rookie record for goals and assist points. Still stands today.
Shit.
Yeah, and then I got multiple offers to play hockey in the U.S. And I could have gone to Brown, Yale, Cornell. Those were the Ivy Leagues I had.
Why'd you pick Cornell?
Because they're number one in the nation.
Oh, if you're going to go, you go, yeah.
I'm going to the best, like they're ranked number one to start the year. But I could have gone like Michigan State, Michigan, Western Michigan, University of North Dakota. I had a lot of offers.
Did the education part, the challenging education, that had to play a role?
The two things played a role is Cornell and Harvard are both always in the top 10.
Yeah.
So I'm going to a very legitimate school, but also, as my dad would say, if it didn't work out, you've got an Ivy League education, you should be in good shape for your life. So I was like, all right, I knew I was going to play pro hockey, but I'm like, okay, I'll go there. And I was thinking, hey, top 10 every year, top 10 hockey school. We're going in there. We're ranked number one in the nation. And we had 18 draft picks on our team out of like 21 guys, which is insane.
God damn.
Yeah, it's insane.
In any sport.
In any sport, yeah.
Like, even basketball, like Duke and fucking North Carolina don't even have that.
That would be like, Oklahoma.
How many people start? Isn't it only like 11?
20 players dress, and it's there's a goalie that plays the whole game, and you have 4 lines of 5 people.
20 people?
Yeah.
Okay. I did my math just right there,
exactly.
real quick. I didn't go to Cornell, but I did my math.
But then so I ended up going to Cornell, and I'm the man, right? I'm the man, yeah, coming in there, and we start camp or whatever. But when I got there, I was like, man, I was probably 175 pounds. And I'm like, oh, these 19, 20, 21-year-olds, 22. I'm like, man, these are men, and these guys are all first day. We're in the weight room, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do a 135-pound bench. I'm like, well, these guys are.
You didn't lift back then?
Well, I hadn't really lifted at all. When I was 16 and 7, I was just playing hockey. As soon as you got to Cornell, that changed because then they're all in the weight room. Like, so during training camp and stuff, like playing, I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm good. I go, there's some guys a little better than me, but I definitely should be playing top 2 lines and kind of stuff like that. And then the season started.
Do they play the freshmen?
Well, that's what's interesting. We only. I'll get to that part, but we started the season, and I didn't dress and I'm like, what? And now I'm pissed. I'm like, really? I came here. I know I'm better than these players, but like you said, you have juniors and seniors that have paid their dues, right? I'm sure it happens in football all the time. Yeah. So I was really frustrated, really mad. And then about 7 or 8 games into the season, or whatever, coach pulled me over, and it was funny because Army was in the ECAC at the time, hockey. And they were at the bottom.
I imagine.
But he's like, you're playing tonight. I'm like, oh, I'm finally in. Nice. So I get all prepared. It was actually neat. Played in West Point. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the whole crowd was all in their fatigues or whatever.
Yeah,
like, oh, man, this is
cool.
Yeah, I was like, this is neat. Or whatever. So played that game. We won. But so I ended up playing the entire rest of the season, and I was the only freshman to play, which is pretty neat.
Do they redshirt freshmen, or is it all true freshmen?
It's all true freshmen. In hockey,